I believe that the opportunities today are greater for people who are actually willing to go out and look for it. And I'm not saying I did or I am, or I'm not trying to claim here that like I figured it all out. But I do believe that somebody nowadays has opportunities that they never had 20 years ago, and that they could do things with their life, their time, their money, their investments, all that kind of stuff in ways that they never could before, which could lead them to a lifestyle that they dream of.
Yes, it's more unaffordable now, but also expectations have grown. So it's a double whammy. So people are conflating these two things when it's, yes, both things are true, but one you kind of have control over, right? So you can lower your standards. And I think this is just from some parenting books I've read of how if you raise kids in a ton of comfort, it's very difficult for those kids to grow up and have the same amount of luxuries that you did, that you gave them when they start out. So let's say you live in this lavish house in Thornhill or in North York. Like, how are your kids going to replicate that at 25? Right. And right now, everybody wants it immediately. It's like, you're not going to do it. So maybe in your 40s you can, but you're not going to do it in your 20s. So I think that there's this expectation and balance.
Yeah, and I agree. And expectations, and where I was going to go with this is the same place that you just went, Bess, is I think there's more money that people can be making younger. And why is this all? Because of the internet and social media, and like this is the root of the problem, or it's the instigator of the solution. I mean, like whichever way you want to look at it, it's making people's expectations higher because they're seeing all these great things online, but it also gives them an opportunity to make more money. So I believe it's easier for people to be able to have a lifestyle that they dream of today than ever before. That's my opinion.
A lifestyle, I believe just that not where they want it to be.
No, what I'm trying to say is that I believe that the opportunities today are greater for people who are actually willing to go out and look for it. And I'm not saying I did or I am, or I'm not trying to claim here that like I figured it all out. But I do believe that somebody nowadays has opportunities that they never had 20 years ago, and that they could do things with their life, their time, their money, their investments, all that kind of stuff in ways that they never could before, which could lead them to a lifestyle that they dream of. That being said, people are using 20 years ago methods to make money and have work ethic and all that kind of stuff, but then have the expectations, like Vass was saying, of 2024, which is I need to have my own condo, and it needs to have open concept, and it needs to be like, all the things that people think that they deserve, and that they're like, well, why does it cost $3,000 a month to get that? And they're like, how could anyone afford this? Right?
How can anybody afford it on the old system? Here's the solution.
On the old system.
Yeah. Is like, wake up and realize that it doesn't work like that anymore, and that there isn't value in the guy who sits in the office all day and works for the other guy. Okay, if you want to have the stuff that the other people have, you're going to have to fucking work like the other people work. And so what does that mean? That means being an electrician in the winter in Canada now is a wonderful avenue to have that life. So people need to start wanting to work hard now, because even the Bank of Canada came out and says that we have a productivity crisis. We have a bunch of lazy fucks who don't want to do what needs to be done. They all expect that, like when I was younger, that you just needed to get a good job, right? Go to school, get a good job, and then you can afford a house. And that is how it worked. But if you didn't, if you just worked as a waiter at some shitty restaurant and you worked every day, like you could only do X even back then. You were renting back then, right? But if you were the hustler and you were waiting on tables and you were selling some other thing on the side, you got to leapfrog all the other guys who were sitting around going, I can't afford to do this. It's too fucking hard, right?
The problem is, though, is you 20 years ago grew up saying, I'm going to become a nurse and have this great life. And I'm not picking on nurses. They're wonderful people. I'm just trying to say, now you're a nurse. You've been doing it for 10 years. You're looking at your income and you're going, I don't get the lifestyle that 20 years ago when I set on this course, I was promised. And yes, you're right.
Yeah,
those two things now are no longer equal. They're, one went this way, the other one went this way. And now you've got this differential that you're saying, oh, how come my income doesn't get me where I needed to be? And so you've got to adapt. And people don't like to hear that, because once they've got their job and they've been to school, they say,
I did what I was supposed to do.
I don't have to do anything anymore. I can just, so many guys, I'm going to the gym and the guys are just training and like, you know, we're all working and stuff. They're like, I don't even go to work. I just tell them I'm at work and I come and train jujitsu, or you know, they think I'm there right now, but I don't care. And it's like this type of attitude, like, great. Like, I'm happy for you that you get paid your wage or whatever all day long, no matter what. But, you know, don't come back later on and say, well, how come I'm not able to go on vacation, or how come I'm not able to, you know, buy an investment property, or why am I still paying my mortgage off when I'm ready to retire? The answer lies within.
Lazy fucks. Right?
It's
Sorry,
a global city, man.
talking a lot
We're
today.
a global city. Like 20 years ago, we were just starting to become a global city. And, you know, like you said, you have to adapt, and adaptability wins, and it's more difficult. And so what? Figure it out or leave. I mean, what else can you do, right? Like I usually don't work with a lot of first-time home buyers unless like I feel like they're realistic. I have one, I call him a kid. He's graduating university now. He's gonna get a little bit of money from his parents. And the way he's thinking about it is very smart. Like, we went and looked at a few duplexes and triplexes. Can you believe this? For under like $1,000,001, there's an opportunity to have like a triplex at King West, at like King and Bathurst, that pulls massive rents. But like, people won't believe it, or they won't look. Like, we went and looked at one. It sold for 900 and change. It was a legal duplex, but you could have made it into a triplex by just digging out some walkouts, you know, adding some ceiling height, this, that, and the other. And there you go. And you have something that's pulling in cash. You have other kids that are, you know, looking at one plus den condos in slightly larger buildings, and they house hack, as they call it, but like they'll convert the living room into one living space. The den is another living space with a Murphy bed, and then there's the bedroom. Listen, I'm not saying that that's the ultimate thing, but if somebody's paying your mortgage and you're pulling it off while you're in your 20s and you're working your ass off to build a career, you know, do whatever you're doing, I mean, to me, that is a compelling proposition. That's something I would do if I was starting out now. I wouldn't sit and wait for Justin Trudeau, or whatever government's going to be in here, to save me, right? Because they're not going to do anything for us.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.